Good morning. I'm going to make breakfast bowls this morning, something a little different, at least for us, because many countries, breakfast is eaten from a bowl there all the time. Well, I'm going to make roasted potato. Potatoes go so well with most everything, and they're easy to make and delicious, and they will keep in the refrigerator if you don't use all of it the first day. This is an Irish potato here. You can roast any kind of potatoes. They just take different lengths of time, mostly is all. First we want to make potato wedges. And to do that you cut the potato at an angle to make 3 slices of a half here. And make nice bite-sized pieces. There's half of it. Now the other half, you just cut in here at an angle. And an angle from the other side. I don't know why it is. If you cut them square, they don't seem to roast as well as they do in wedges. I see a bad spot in that one there that I cut, so I need to sort it out. This one right here. And cut that bad spot out. Now you put these in a container of some sort. This is so I can oil and season them. They need oil in there to help them roast. And I'm going to use olive oil. You can use cooking oil or most anything except butter, because butter tends to burn. And it doesn't take much oil here. But if you really want the best tasting ones, use bacon grease. Just put the lid on. Shake those up. And now I'll spray my cooking sheet here with Pam so they don't stick. They aren't bad to stick, but they do. Or they can. And just scatter them out on there. Now I make my own seasoning here. This is nothing but salt and pepper, cumin, and paprika. You can use any kind of seasoning that you want on them. And you can buy anything commercially. Cut the side up. And now I'll put these in the toaster oven on bake at about 400 degrees. plastic bowl off of here, otherwise I'll have a stinking smoking mess. Okay, I'm going to make the gravy go in the bowls. So I'm going to make 2 cups, so I'll put 1.5 cups of water in there to heat and hold back about 1/2 cup of cold water. And I'll use 1/2 cup of my mix. I make my own instant gravy mix, and I'll put a link in the description on how to do it. It's far too complex to cover at a time like this. This costs about 50 cents for 2 cups, and where the package out of the store costs $1.50 most of them. Now what I want to do is beat this 1/2 cup of mix into the 1/2 cup of cold water. You don't want to try to combine the mix with hot water, because it'll lump and you'll have little dumplings in there. Now as soon as the water is boiling, I'll go from here. Okay, the water is boiling, so I'll put in the mix here all at one time and start whisking that as it comes back to a boil. It's already beginning to thicken a little. Okay, this is beginning to boil a little, so I'll keep stirring it constantly here. You need to pick up any that sticks to the bottom. The heat causes it to thicken quicker, and it'll stick if you don't keep stirring it constantly. I'm going to turn the heat down a bit so it doesn't try to boil over. I'm going to turn the heat out completely now and let it finish just on the residual heat from the burner. It'll thicken as it cools. Okay, the potatoes have been in for 20 minutes. I'll check them here. Yeah, they're pork tender. So I'll take them out of the oven and set them on top to stay warm. And start finishing this breakfast up. Okay, I've already cubed up the ham. And I'll divide it into 2 bowls here. And I'll pop those in the microwave to heat that ham. Put some of the potatoes in each bowl. It doesn't take all of them by any means. And the rest we'll keep in the refrigerator for another meal, or tacos, or as a side dish, or whatever. Looks like about half of them is going to be the right amount in here for these bowls. Now I'll scramble a couple of eggs. Do that in butter. Scrambled eggs and butter just seems to go together. As soon as that melts, you don't want to let the butter get too hot or it'll brown and make the eggs brown. There's one. And there's the other one. Scramble them with a fork here. And let those start cooking. In the meantime, I'm going to put the gravy over the potatoes and ham. You know, breakfast just isn't breakfast, especially in the country, without gravy. Putting a lot more gravy on here than Jimmy Dean does on his. I don't know. Gravy's the cheapest thing you can make, and that's what he seemed to scrimp on. Now I'll wait for the eggs to cook. Well, they're starting to get set on the bottom, so I'll stir them around. You know, the less you mess with scrambled eggs, the better they are. Some cooks would claim that you knock the air out of them, but whatever it is. There we go there. Let them cook a little on that side. I'll turn these eggs over to finish the top side, and they'll be ready to go in the bowls. Cut them in about half here. Put half in one bowl. And half in the other. Turn out the burners, and that's ready to go to the table. And there it is on the table.